Warning, if you're faint of heart or easily offended, this show is not for you.
You guys are great.
I appreciate that, and I am looking for compliments. But
no, seriously, you guys
thank
are
you.
awesome.
But why do you think it's working like it is, and it's the trajectory is so straight up? What do you think it is about our shows that are different? What
I mean, needless to mention,
we keep asking you to play, and you keep saying no.
Is that true?
No. Go on. Is that true? But you don't remember your own phone calls? Fucking dumb shit. Is that true? So this is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci, and can you believe this? I am here with the two-time WPT champion,
oh my God,
Art Papazyan, who might have a lot to say, might not. I don't know, but we'll get into it. Art, many of you, many people out there want to know what you're up to, where you've been. If you want to give us a quick synopsis of like maybe your background, anything you want to tell us, your family, etc., and then we'll get right into it.
Okay. Let's start off with the first question you asked, where I've been.
Yeah, where you been?
I've been home a lot. I've been at home a lot, playing a lot of poker.
You play online?
Play online almost, I would say, every day or as much as I
do?
can.
How many hours do you think you put in grinding online?
It's hard to say because online poker can be dead sometimes. Sometimes there'll be no games running at all.
Okay.
So like,
where do you play?
I play on... it's called ACR.
Yeah.
And this other site called Global Poker.
Okay.
So I play on both those sites a lot. High stakes can be dead sometimes. It's not like back in the day where you could log on, play as many tables as you want.
So it's hard to find a good game?
It's hard to find any game sometimes.
What's the biggest you can find on the regular?
50, 100.
Okay. So that's small to you now.
It's not small. That's not small. That's good. That's a pretty good.
But that doesn't run regular? 51.
Lately it has, but I would say maybe a few times a week it won't.
What could you depend on? Because I don't play online. What can you depend on that if you went online, you can always find a game? What's the max?
Find a game?
Yeah, like the max, like 510?
Maybe 510 probably, yeah. 510 probably, yeah.
Yeah, I know that's small. I'm just saying.
Once you get to 1020, it's kind of hard to find a game.
Yeah, so then it's hit and miss.
Yeah.
When those aren't running, what do you do?
Probably study poker.
You study poker, so you're still in the lab.
I love poker.
You still do?
I love poker a lot. It's just frustrating how it is for people that want to play high stakes. You can't really play live high stakes anymore, like it was
politics.
Back in the day. Politics, sure, whatever you want to call it. Getting into a game and being dealt cards is not as easy as it was a few years ago.
Well, you know, I just interviewed Mike Matisow yesterday, and
the legend.
His pod will be out way before yours. Yours is going to be. By the way, this is November what? What are we? 20th?
20th.
So 20th. So yours is going to be out a few weeks from now because I've already did a few. So for people to know that. But just yesterday I interviewed Mike, and he was saying he thinks one of the worst things for poker is the private game industry of poker because of what you're talking about. Like, it would be hard for a guy like you that probably is not wanted in a lot of games because you're a great player, you're a good player, you're a pro, you're in the lab every day. And so there's probably a lot better picks and people who are controlling private games. Even in casinos, when they control the board, you're drawn dead.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just telling Mike, a story about when I was with last year in not that I'm a good player, you're a good player. I'm just saying that because I'm not an action player, like I learned the hard way about poker politics just recently, and I couldn't get in a game in Aria because I'm a nit. So, but and you're a killer and they don't want you in the game. What do you do though? You just isn't that hard to accept? Even now, if you go to where the Gardens Commerce, you can't really find a good table game, even a good 10-20 or 20-40, even to just pass some time. It's hard to find.
I haven't played a live game.
Where did it go? Where did these games go?
I don't know what happened. I think what happened was the streams, and then once people started seeing that the streams were filled with action players, a lot of these pros that weren't getting enough action or can't probably beat online poker decided, hey, the only way I'm gonna make money playing poker is if I kind of take the recreational players
build their own private games,
build our own private game kind of off stream. So there's a few of those games running,
Do you find it hard to get in private games even out of casinos? Like, can you go to these private games over? There's some in Irvine. There's a bunch in LA. I know they were a lot more prominent during COVID, but
I was playing quite a bit of private games.
Yeah, but they've died out.
They died out, and man, just the anxiety that you face playing these private games, like as far as like getting paid,
dodging the elements.
There's a lot of landmines you gotta dodge at these private games, and it just became too much, and I just kind of stopped playing.
Yeah, because you have to worry about getting paid. You have to worry about cheating.
That's prominent
right?
as well.
That's prominent. You probably have to worry about getting robbed.
Probably.
A little bit, right?
Sure,
in and out and that type of thing. I know they have security. And you probably have to worry about STDs.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. The private
just
games...
from the cards, you mean? Like,
yeah, of course. Just like in your fingers. Because,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Has that happened to you?
You know, that's a joke. It's because there's girls at private games. I think
there?
you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. There probably is. There probably isn't. I don't know.
That's fucking funny. All right, fair enough. Okay, moving right along. You must have a new girlfriend or new relationship.
I do.
We'll talk about that in a minute. That's
Okay.
why you don't know what I'm talking
I don't know
about.
what you're talking
Oh
about.
shit. Well, okay. I don't know what I'm talking about either. I'm old. It's called dementia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're good.
I'm good.
Fair. Okay. Wow, that landed like a ton of lead. I wasn't ready for that response. You're like, I don't know. Yeah. So, okay, but how about this, Art? So you remember back when I first met you? I don't remember what year it was. It was years ago. It was at the Commerce. Right? And I just remember this tall, lanky, gummy, handsome fucking killer coming to the table. And what happened to those games, bro? Like, do you remember on Friday? You could find 4 to 6 tables of guys like me.
There was.
Wasn't it juicy? It was so juicy, and you just used to show up in your white T-shirt and just sit down and just kill. But what happened? Where is all that action, bro?
I think a lot of the people that were playing for fun lost a lot of money.
Yeah, I think it's attrition.
I think over time they lost a lot of money, and they just got fed up with poker.
Yeah.
The bad beats and whatever. And the game just kind of died out. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think people just got bored maybe of poker. It was kind of a thing. They're like, oh, I love playing poker. And then
How can you get bored of playing poker? It doesn't even compute for me. I walked into Commerce about 2 or 3 weeks ago for something I was there for. And I was in there very long, a few hours. And oh my God, there was no game. There was no familiar faces. There was nothing over a 5'10". I know sometimes they'll have that 10-20 with just a bunch of regulars and stuff, but still I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
Yeah.
Honestly. I don't know.
Do you miss playing live?
I miss like playing big live, like a big
You
live.
play big live, yeah.
Yeah. Like a big game where like for like a lot of money.
What's your perfect size game that you could play on the regular that you're comfortable in that's big enough for you? If you just said like God came down and placed it there a couple times a week, what would it be?
If you asked me that question a year ago, I would have probably said a lot bigger than now because
Why?
Truthfully speaking, I got destroyed in the recent crypto crash. Like I lost a lot of money.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like a lot.
So your bankroll was a lot bigger. If I asked you,
yeah, a lot of the money that I had back in the day when I was playing at Live with the Bike, whatever, was liquid, right?
Yeah, I remember. I used to be in that private room with you once in a while. We were cashing out, and you had like racks and racks of 5K. Yeah, I remember.
I had a lot of chips there.
Yeah.
But then once I started realizing, like, hey, I'm probably not going to get invited to these games very often.
You invested it.
Why am I putting all this money in the freaking storage at the casino?
Not making any money, right? Just
sure,
yeah.
Oh,
shit, don't you wish you had it back?
So I just put it into, like, some crypto, some stocks, some whatever, some real estate, this and that.
Yeah.
And I put it in a lot of speculative assets, as you can probably call it.
Nobody would ask this question because they're too like fluffy on their interviews. How much did you lose?
I lost maybe 1.5.
So 1.5 in this crash.
Yeah.
That fucking hurts.
That hurt a lot, yeah. Especially because like I don't have like streams of income.
Diversification and streams of income otherwise, yeah.
And
shit. So what would be your perfect game now if you got into it on the regular?
Like 1-2.
1-2, okay.
1-2 would be great.
But and but they're hard to find.
You can't find one too.
Yeah, you can't.
It's
impossible.
It doesn't exist.
There's only one place.
Hustler.
Yeah. There's
Hustler
only one
life.
place that's doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I gotcha. Wow. Tell me real quick while I absorb that number you just lost.
Sure.
About this new girlfriend.
It's going great.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
Okay. How long has it been?
A few months.
Okay.
New.
No, you're
Fairly new.
honeymoon stage.
Honeymoon stage, yeah.
Yeah, she's still doing oral. We could edit that. You want me to?
No.
Good.
Keep it in there.
I'm going to keep it in there. It's a joke.
Everything is raw. Everything is good.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
Yeah. It's a cancel culture, but
Yeah.
I didn't really offend anyone but like maybe some hygienists, some oral hygienists.
And,
yeah.
And why does it matter if you offend them?
Good point. Yeah. It's just joke. Maybe it wasn't a very good one, but I caught you off guard.
liked it.
I was just trying to catch you off guard.
You did.
Good. You're Armenian.
Yeah, I am.
You are. We'll roll right into a different subject. You're Armenian. What nationality is your girlfriend?
Armenian.
I was gonna guess maybe she was. That's
She
really
is, yeah.
big for traditional Armenians, Italians.
Yeah.
Like so that's good. Does your mom like her?
My mom's met her once.
Does she like her?
likes her.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
a good test.
That's very important. It's very important.
For sure, it's very important, especially traditional family. It's
Yeah.
very important. So that's good. Blonde or brunette? I don't know why that matters.
Not blonde.
Because she's Armenian, so it has to be brunette, right?
black
Yeah,
hair?
that's a
Black hair,
dumb
maybe?
question. She's Armenian. She can't be blonde. I mean, she could, but it wouldn't
She
be
could
real.
blonde, but it wouldn't be natural.
It wouldn't be natural. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's more low key.
That's cool.
The blonde ones are kind of like the wild ones.
Last question about her. How'd you meet her?
I met her.
Yeah.
Online. There's a very popular social media app called Instagram. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I take a beating on it on a regular basis. Yeah.
You get beat on Twitter.
No, but they give me
on Instagram too. They get you?
They get me not as much as Twitter, but they get me good everywhere. Yeah.
And so I looked at her pictures, like, man, this girl's freaking hot. You know what I mean?
And you just DM'd her?
I just
You
DM'd
slid?
her.
Is it slid up?
I slid in her DMs.
Slid in her DMs.
Slid
Is
in,
that how
yeah.
you say it?
Yeah, slid up wouldn't make sense.
I don't know. Oh yeah,
Slid
slid in. Yeah, because up there's no up.
There's no up or down.
Yeah,
You
I'm
in.
old. I don't know about sliding. I just whatever it is. Yeah. How'd you start playing poker?
You know, I was thinking about that recently. I was like, where did I start playing?
How'd this happen?
I'll tell you how I started.
Where did
playing.
the legend grow from?
You want to hear this?
I do. Why the fuck do you think I asked?
I started playing poker on the Xbox 360.
Really?
Yes.
They have poker?
They had a poker game called Texas Hold'em. That was the name of the game, called Texas Hold'em.
All right.
And
You've gotten pretty good at that game.
And I was a big video game player back in the day. I loved games. I even
Yeah.
played games for money. One of the first games I played for money was Fight Night Champion.
Oh.
And I must have been 13 or 14, and I was one of the best players in the world at this game.
Wow.
So I would go on this website called Virgin Gaming. Don't make a joke about that.
I won't.
There's
I
no
won't.
joke in there.
No joke.
There's no joke. It's
I
called
know.
Virgin. Even though I was a virgin.
I was just going to let you go
Yeah,
and
even
say
though I
what
was a
you need
virgin
to-
at the time.
Yeah.
You can go on Virgin Gaming and place bets, and then you go into the game, and then you play the boxing game.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the match gets money. So
Wow.
that was my hustle for like.
So you were
years.
hustling.
I was hustling on there for about a year.
Nice. So you've been on the hustle since you were 13.
Whenever I would lose a game, I would be tilted, so I would go on this Texas Hold'em poker.
Be tilted.
I lost like $5 or whatever.
Boxing tilt?
Yeah, because you get the one punch knockouts, and
Yeah.
then you just lose, right?
Yeah.
You win every round, and you get one punch knocked out. It's over.
God, it's just like playing good for 6 hours and then just losing your stack
Use the
on one
cooler,
hand.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I get it.
A lot of parallels.
There is some parallels. So that's how you started playing.
The Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
I'd get tilted on boxing, and then I'd go on Texas Hold'em poker.
And then when did you start playing like live as an adult? How'd you get into it? Like where's the first time you walked into what? A casino? How did it happen?
No, first time was casino was Morongo.
Just walked in and played like a little 50 cent $1 or something?
No, I played the $60 daily tournament.
Ah, I got it.
The daily tournament.
The daily tournament, yeah.
Yeah, and I made a final table.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Early?
My first tournament ever.
Oh my God.
My first time playing live poker.
You're a natural.
And I made the final table, and I took the deal. It was like the final six player.
Deal. What was the payout? Please.
A few $100 or something.
He took the deal for $300. That's really fucking funny. That's awesome. Nice.
But I did play a lot in college online.
You did.
I did, yeah.
Did you graduate from college?
No, community college. I graduated,
And then
I transferred, and I dropped out my senior year from the university.
Yeah, but can you believe what I remember most is, and again, I don't know how deep you are, or what it is, but I remember when you, and we'll talk about them, not yet, but when you binked those 2 WPTs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I remember specifically? A couple months after that, is you rolled up in a red Ferrari.
I did.
Did you still have it?
I sold that Ferrari to a fellow poker player.
What do you drive now?
I have a Corvette. I have 2 cars. I got a Corvette for fun. And
Yeah.
I got some random Lexus.
Yeah, just a little sedan car if you take your
Here
girl
and
to a little
there.
Armenian dinner or something.
Yeah, the Armenian,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Armenian grocery stores.
That's right. I love it. So tell me about your grind though, all the way up the ranks, because you went up. Did you go up the ranks fast?
I would say so.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that to me once. So tell me about how you went up the ranks.
Started playing 5-5 at Commerce.
Okay.
That game is great, by the way. You could literally make a living playing 5-5 at the Commerce.
Any more or back then?
Right now, you probably still can.
Is that right?
I think so.
There's a 5-5. I don't know.
I don't know. You could probably make a good $80K a year playing 5-5.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was playing those. Then you graduate to 5-10, right? You go through the ceremony. You go to 5-10.
Yeah. You get your diploma. You get
Yeah.
the cap, the tassel.
Yeah.
You go.
And
to
then 5-10 was probably a grind for about 6 months every day. Listen, Nick, like I didn't have a freaking life back then. Like all I did was play poker.
That's it.
But think about it. Like you go to college, right? And then you're like, I'm probably gonna graduate and get a job, or I can just play poker and I could make more money than I've ever.
Right. So when you figured that out, you just thought to yourself, doing that other thing, which is living inside the box, the system, going to college, you get a degree, maybe get a job, you start a career, whatever. That didn't resonate with you. It less and less
I wanted
resonated.
fast money.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I'm Armenian, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have 9-to-5 jobs, bro.
There's no way you could do it.
I can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like your alternative.
It's
You're
either
like,
this or fraud. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
And so that or become a gangster.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do illegal shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. No, I think you went the right route.
I think so.
with the poker. And then where to go from there? How'd you work your way up to playing in the biggest games in LA?
You play 5-10, right? And when I was playing, I was always paying attention to people who were good. And there was players back then who I thought were...
Who did you think were good back then when you were trying to work your way up the ranks? We may not know them, but let's talk about them. I might know them.
Brian Kim.
Brian Kim, BK.
I thought he was good back then.
Isn't he still good?
I think he's pretty good.
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yes.
So I'd watch him play a lot. I'm like, oh, this guy...
Yeah, he's a beast.
This guy's probably winning a lot of money.
He just won a couple tournaments recently.
Did he?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, I can't remember the one at the bike. And another,
At the bike.
He made a final. It was, I don't know. I don't want to misspeak. I can't remember. He made a final table and got third or fourth, and then he just won one recently.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's doing really well, and he's crushing cash.
Is he? Mm-hmm. I thought he was good. And Neil. Remember Neil?
Yes, Neil from Chicago. Indian Neil.
Indian Neil.
Yeah.
So
he was really good. We had those bug glasses and the bass boat hat.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. I love that guy. I always liked Neil. He was a crusher, though.
And so those two guys, and maybe like a few other guys.
Yeah. I remember those OGs.
I
at the
used to
Commerce.
watch them play. I'm like, these guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
I was trying to mimic what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't beat them, just like mimic.
Duplication is powerful, bro.
Yeah.
Just duplicate, but perfect.
And then I started really thinking about what they were doing, and I kind of molded my own little strategy from, watching them play. And
how did you start the studying process for poker? When did that happen, and what did you do? What was your study in the lab regimen from then to now? Like, what's different?
It's changed a lot.
Yeah, tell us how it started and how it changed.
First, it was like watching people play.
And how does a crusher even today continue to be in the lab? So take us through that.
First, this was like years ago, talking about like 2016.
I got it.
17.
We'll move our way up.
First, I would watch how people would play, and then I would kind of like emulate their strategy. Mm-hmm. Then I would through my own experiences, kind of formulate my own strategy. So I would kind of figure out where people were playing poorly and take advantage of that.
Take advantage of their weak spots.
So if I figured out people were calling 3-bets too light out of position, I would just, make the 3-bets bigger or something like that.
That was me back in the day.
Even people still nowadays play those spots very poorly,
I agree.
And so kind of people were folding too much to C-bets on dry boards.
Right, just
stuff
auto
like that.
fold, not floating.
Yeah. So stuff like that, I would kind of
you'd observe those tendencies and patterns, and you'd isolate it and take advantage of it.
Sure,
That's what
yeah.
a good poker player
and
does.
even people do stuff like that all the time. Like people look at people's mistakes and they can take advantage of it. It's
okay.
But I was doing that on kind of like a greater, higher level back in the day. Like everyone was making those mistakes, so I was just kind of exploiting everyone.
How did you know there were mistakes though? Who told you they were
Well,
mistakes?
you just like look at the showdowns, right? And then you kind of
so
like
you figured that out yourself?
Yeah, I've never had a coach in poker.
Okay, because I was going to say it's tough to figure these things out yourself without someone pointing it out. I had to have somebody in the last couple of years point these things out to me. I got a lot of it, but not as well as you did. I was busy running businesses.
Yeah, you had a life. I didn't have a life.
Yeah, I got it.
And so that was my life, was trying to figure out
that
these
makes
spots.
sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean,
that makes sense.
And so, yeah.
Did streaming help you study poker because you could actually see hands and study your own hands, study other people, good players' hands, or were you just too good by then and didn't need that? I'm being serious.
I think
because that helped me.
I think what it did was it kind of showed me how people were thinking about the game, what their thought process was, and then it would help me kind of exploit them even more.
Right. It was
so like I'd watch the hands you would play. I'm like, oh, Nick's making all these mistakes,
millions,
and I was like, okay, so next time I play with them, I know like
you know what to do.
I know what you're thinking. That's really
yes,
important.
Of course.
Poker,
you could tell by the way I was playing face up. True.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Let's have some fun with it.
Okay.
Like literally, be as honest as you can, and I don't want to say purposely troll me, but literally hold nothing back about how bad I was and like how yum I was. Because basically you guys, you, Dan, Zach, Garrett, Andy, like all these guys, you were just all competing for my loss equity. Like I would, of course you would win off each other, but basically I was special.
You were, I mean, objectively the worst player.
For sure. That you built the game around me.
I did
Ryan
personally.
did.
Yeah,
no, Ryan did.
did.
Okay, so tell us more about that. They love shit like this. Fucking destroy me.
You were really bad.
Bad.
But
why?
You played so many spots poorly.
Tell me more.
Like your bluffs on the river were super bad. Like you pick like the worst combos to bluff with on the river, like,
right?
Every single time, and then you would like give your opponent like the best price in the world to call.
Right. So if I was bluffing, I would bluff light because I was scared.
And then you would pick like combos that you want your opponent to have in their hand, whereas like your fold equity is even lower because you have those cards that you want him to have.
Is that why you're so nice to me back then?
Was that? I've always been nice to you.
I'm joking. That's a joke.
I've always been like I've never treated people differently.
I know that. That was a joke.
Yeah.
We were always been friends.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. Don't take me serious on that.
I know. Okay.
Okay. What else?
I mean, that was
that's the most of it, right?
I kind of knocked you out right there with that one.
Yeah, that if you were in that game, the Xbox, I'd be fucked up. You'd have hit the.
People thought that I was cheating in that game when I was playing the Xbox, not the Live at the Bike, obviously.
Oh, in the Xbox
game, yeah. I'm like, I'm 13 years old. How am I cheating? Like,
I've had the same experience recently.
People thought you were cheating.
Yeah, but not at Xbox.
In real life.
Yeah. You see on Twitter. Don't play dumb. But anyways. Well, because I play a little different now. Like I know these things you're talking about. Like I didn't know those.
You play differently. You play tighter. I've noticed, and your opponents kind of give you money in a lot of spots.
They pay me off.
They kind of just give you the money.
Why?
I don't know why.
Okay.
They just kind of give it to you.
Well, they don't try. It's not on purpose or anything. They just for some reason pay me off. And
they like you for some reason.
You're a dick. All right, so whatever. I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you. Let's see. Okay, so tell me more about the games at Live at the Bike. Why did you have? Were that good times for you?
They were good times because I was making like pretty good money, to be honest.
You were printing.
I was making I had more money than I ever thought I was ever gonna have in those.
I remember that was your peak.
I was playing with there are days where I'd have like a 200K stack, but that was back when people didn't have big stacks. Like now on Hustler, like everyone has like 500K.
Yeah. But back then that was monstrous.
A big deal,
yeah. For a guy that was the mark, I actually enjoyed it too because like I became friends with you guys, I think, and even though like. It just was fun. It was like every week I could look forward to like giving you guys a few bucks,
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think it was fair.
I was surprised you kept coming back. I was like, at one point I was like, Nick, at one point I was telling myself like,
why is he
when is
doing
he
this?
gonna quit? Like he just keeps fucking losing every
coming.
week.
I just kept coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it just kept reappearing.
Like
I was like the herpes virus, just kept flaring back up. But see, here's the thing. What it was this. It was, I could totally understand now I don't want to say the whale, but because it's such a fucking derogatory, but I could understand now the wreck businessman who just likes to fucking play.
But you weren't even, okay, you were pretty bad, but you weren't as bad as some of the players that kind of played.
No, see, that's the thing. I never defend myself when people are calling me bad. I think it's fun and I love it.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is I was taking a beating and learning a lesson, but there was a point there after about 6 or 8 months where I actually was holding my own. Only because I got good enough to not get crushed. Not that I was a good player.
And the thing is, you were playing against some good players.
What do you mean good? I was playing the best players in LA.
You were playing really good players.
Yeah. But you know, I tell people this. That was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, after about couple months, I realized, I've said this already like 10 times in these podcasts, I realized, oh my God, I don't even know what poker is. Like legitimately, it's not just about like the 2 cards you have.
No.
And so, you know, I was still a businessman running businesses, had hundreds of employees. So, you know, I wasn't ready to take it to the next level, but I realized it. And I started doing a little bit of studying like towards the end and looking at hands and talking with someone and, you know, whatever, but not enough, just enough to like not get totally crushed. Because if you remember, and I've said this a million times, once I started actually studying a little bit, even back then, and like realizing that I sucked ass, I got good enough where I could go into the Tuesday game and I was like the crusher.
Oh, the 5-5 ante game.
Yes, and I became the crusher. I don't know if you know that or if you paid attention.
I did.
Yeah, so I started destroying that game to where I had beef with people who didn't want me to play.
I remember the
But it was
beefs.
because you guys.
Yeah.
But it was because you guys gave me the training.
Okay.
And made me realize that I had no clue what I was doing. So I tell people it was some of the most best and expensive training that I ever got playing with you guys for a year or two, because I was playing with the best. And then, like you said, I could start seeing like all these things and I'm like, what is he doing? And oh my God, no, that's why he's doing it. And I just like didn't even compute. I was just telling someone recently, I think it was Mattisau or someone, I didn't know anything about sizing, position, believe it or not. Like I knew it's better to be on the button, but but like sizings or tells, and you know, like one of my tells was really early on that when I had it, I bet fast, and when I didn't, I took forever because I was building up my courage. So that was something that I wouldn't even know.
Building up the courage.
Right. I swear, because I'm like, should I do this or anything? I don't fucking know. Let me think about it for 10 minutes. But it was fun times. I don't know how to explain it, and it all evolved into what I'm doing now. So it's a blessing for me, you know. But I figured they're gonna have a good time with that, and you've never been shy about telling me how bad I was.
I kind of told you a few times.
You told me a lot. You're like,
but the other players wouldn't tell you. They would kind of like
because they wanted to milk me. Yeah, they wanted to like.
But I feel like you and I have. I feel like our personalities were similar. More than the personalities of other people that were in the game. I feel like you and I kind of
totally
were.
Yeah,
were
I agree with that.
About,
we
about
were, and I
things.
taught you how to cut steak.
You did teach me how to cut steak.
Yeah, you did not know how to cut a steak when I met you.
And
how is that possible?
And now
bro?
I'm pretty good at cutting steak.
Yeah, I figured by now, since you practice everything and you're good at everything, you probably are probably the best steak cutter ever.
I'm really good, actually.
Yeah, like you could probably win a steak cutting tournament. But the thing is how did you not know as a grown man how to cut a steak? Tell me how that's possible.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
As a young person, I didn't ever eat steak. We never went out and ate steak before.
Okay.
I've never been to a restaurant with my parents.
You were just so old school. You had dinner at home.
Oh, dinner at home always.
Okay.
And then once I had money, I never went out. I didn't have a life. I was always playing poker every day. So I never actually went out to a restaurant. I never actually had steak before.
Was that your first steak that I taught you how to cut?
That might have been my first.
Because I recommended it because it was a ribeye. I'm like, dude, you got to try this. You're
That was
like,
probably my first steak.
and then I remember showed up and you were like, stumped.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, here, let me show you.
There's a knife,
You
and I
hold
never-
this, and you do this, and I showed you a couple cuts. You tried, you practiced, and then you were just like,
now
you're just on your way.
Now I can eat oysters and stuff too.
How old were you when you lost your virginity?
Is that
You brought it up earlier.
Is
You
that a serious
said,
question?
yeah, because you brought it up, and now you're telling me that you didn't even eat at a restaurant. So I'm guessing at a high number.
Junior
early,
year in high school.
Really, I would have guessed older.
I was kind of wild when it came to stuff like that.
What was his name?
Jose.
Okay.
You know what that reminds me of? The Family Feud. Name me later. Starts with letter H. And the guy's like, Jose.
That's perfect. Yeah, there it goes. Well, Jose, good job, buddy. All right. So listen, in that process, when you were playing, you then took a couple shots at tournaments, and you won. You tell us the two you binked
Before we go there, you know how you were saying like you learned some stuff about sizings and stuff. When
I knew nothing.
You know what's interesting about that?
What?
In the games I play today nowadays, there's some people who are objectively like much better than me at the games I play in.
Okay.
And sometimes I watch, I review their hands, and I'm like,
what are they doing?
They're just like really, really good. They're like on a different level. So Like what you were studying back then is like stuff that I'm studying nowadays.
You're saying there's another level that you're learning.
There's basically,
or that you're seeing work, some strategies that are
some
styles.
strategies that I didn't really think of. That
What I've learned is this. What I've learned is when you take your poker knowledge from here to here, and you're like, whoa, this is open, because my eyes are so much more open to the game of poker right now. Hold'em, right? Mm-hmm. But I know that there's so many layers still to go of what there is, and there's so many subjects you can touch on that. So that's why I think people love poker, because it's this never-ending journey to figure out, and it's always changing, and things are changing. So that's the competitiveness of that is really set in for me. Yeah, that's what I love more than anything. Like, you probably know I do well with business and money and different things, but people watch me and they're like, it looks like my whole bankroll's on the table when I'm playing, but more because I'm competitive. Mm-hmm. It's not just like, and I get super tilted when I lose 50K. I shouldn't, but I do, because I'm like you. I'm just like, I'm competitive. I don't want to lose. I feel like I should always be winning. Not that I should. I know I shouldn't be. I know I suck. I got it. But for me, in my head, that's how I always feel. Yeah. And so poker's just amazing that way.
To me, I get the most upset whenever I play a hand poorly. If I lose if I lose a flip, then I'm like, whatever.
No, same.
Yeah.
I'm same way. But you know what the nice thing for me now is actually there's times where I'll put in a bet or I'll make a move or I'll do something and I'll know immediately it's wrong. That's the beauty, because before I never knew it was wrong. You understand? So now I know enough now sometimes to know, oh my God, I just put out a sizing here and I gave him too good of a price. What the fuck did I do?
Sure.
But before I would never know that. I just like, oh, this sounds good.
You would think, because you think like 5,000 is a lot, even though there's like 40,000.
Yeah, still 5,000.
He's not going to call 5,000.
No, who would do that?
With a pair of kings?
Yeah, that's dumb. But
and then Garrett calls you with a pair of threes or something.
Yeah, well, always. Or he binked the fucking one outer on the river. But, yeah.
That guy ran good for a long time, right?
Bro.
Dude, that guy made every freaking hand.
Everybody thinks, like, if I was saying it back in the day, that I was just saying it as an excuse because I would get crushed. It wasn't. Even now, more so back then.
Yeah.
But even now, even at the Hustler, it's like, I named him the Eighth Wonder. Because I'm not joking. Even when I'm commentating and I don't know what's coming, I believe it's coming when he's in the hand and he needs that 2-outer. I've never seen a guy. He used to bink 1 and 2 outers on me, like, and make moves on me that he should have got punished for, and then he'd hit it. Yeah. Bluffing, but then hit it. And that always played a part in me too with hands with him. Even if we take out the math and what you should do, I always thought, well, it's him. He's gonna hit it. Like I think he's on a flush draw.
He was in your head, big time.
He was in my head because he always got there. And he even admitted thinks he's one of the luckiest players that he knows.
He does run really good.
He's a good player.
Good player.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying, oh, Garrett's just lucky. Garrett's a great player.
Yeah.
But you can add, like, run good and just have that, like, horseshoe up your ass. Oh, my God.
Good player.
Yeah, very good player.
Just leave it at that.
Fair enough with me. Yeah. Okay, are you ready to talk about your 2 tournaments?
2 tournaments.
Yeah, and what made you decide to play tournaments while you were such a cash game crusher? What tournaments were they? What were the payoffs? And I know one was against the legend Phil Hellmuth, who took second.
PH.
So let's you talk about.
I remember the morning of the tournament that I won. The first tournament that I won was at the Bike, the Legends of Poker.
Okay.
4,000 buy-in.
Okay.
And I remember I was at home, and back then I lived with a former poker player. Mm-hmm. By the name of Blake Yu. You know Blake Yu.
Yeah, I know Blake, the Ravens fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My former roommate. This was when I was playing. I was playing at the time already, like 25-50. I was playing on the show already.
Yeah.
I was like at 25-50, maybe 51.
Mm-hmm.
I might have had, I know people don't like to say numbers on the show, but I probably had like 300K net worth at the time.
You could say that. I think that's what we should do.
Yeah. Like, who cares?
Who gives a shit? It is what it is.
Yeah. I might have had like 300K or something, and I fired 4K into this tournament, and whatever, I ran really good in a tournament. People say to me all the time, like, oh, why don't you play more tournaments? You're good at tournaments. I'm like, how do you know I'm good at tournaments? I ran hot in 2 tournaments. Doesn't mean I'm good at, and I don't think I'm good at tournaments, by the way. I think there's a lot of spots where I don't really know what the hell I'm doing in tournaments.
Sure, but you have to run good to win a tournament. You have to run really good.
Yeah. And honestly, those tournaments were kind of soft. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They were like, there was no really good players towards like the end, like the final few days of those tournaments, where I felt like even though I know very little, I felt like I was one of the strongest.
Yeah,
players.
I could get behind that. And so the first one, how many players were in it, and what did you win?
Let's say, I don't know. Let's call it. Let's ballpark it 600-700 people.
Okay.
And I won 660 something K.
No deals.
No deals, but my roommate had 10% of me.
Okay. Blake.
And I remember what happened. I was leaving the house, and I'm like, "Hey, Blake, I'm gonna play this tournament." He's like, "Can you give me 10%?" I'm like, "No, I kind of don't want to." You know what I mean? Like, he's like, "Come on." I'm like, "All right, whatever, dude. I'll give you 10%."
Wow, what a bank that was for him.
It was one of those
60-something K.
It was one of those whatever, I'll give you 10% kind of things. And I remember he was in Florida at the time, and I called him, I'm like, "Hey, Blake, I won." He's like, "Oh my god, that's crazy."
I won, but I was just kidding about the 10%. No, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah. No.
What was the next one you won?
And then I was like, "Fuck, I gotta pay a lot of taxes. Like, I might as well start playing these more
You're
tournaments."
having rich people problems.
I was like, "Fuck, man, I can't lie about this." You know what I mean? It's all
No, you would never want to do that.
No, I would never lie about anything.
No.
And so I flew to Maryland, and I played in a tournament there, and I'm like, I won again. I'm like, what?
Is that the one you beat out Phil?
No,
that was the bike.
Phil was the bike. So I played.
Didn't he give you shit in some hands and
dude, Phil
ridicule you?
Phil played one hand so
Like
poorly.
he was your idol.
I played one hand where I raised from like middle position, and then he 3-bet the button,
Yeah.
and I had like ace 5 or something.
Yeah.
Or ace 4 suited.
Used to love ace 4 and 5. Yeah.
Those are, but in theory, those are really good hands to
They are,
to 4-bet bluff with, especially out of position.
Yeah.
And so I
Ace 5 more than ace 4.
It depends. So it's like I don't want to get too deep into theory, but it's like you're playing small blind versus big blind, and you open small blind and big blind 3-bets. Like ace 5 is too good of a hand to
Suited,
4-bet.
even unsuited?
Offsuit, you just fold. Obviously.
You fold it. Okay, got
But
it.
suited is too good. Like so, you would want to like bluff like ace deuce or like ace 3, and then throw in some other stuff in there too.
Yeah. Okay, so you 3-bet from the middle with ace 5 suited.
I 4-bet.
4-bet. Sorry.
I 4-bet shoved on him, and he folds queens with like 30 big blinds or something. He folds queens like face up. He's like calling me, he's calling me like a bitch kind of. He's like, "Hey, you suck. You're never bluffing here." And so he folds queens to me.
You show him the 5
I show him the 4.
or the 4. I mean, yeah.
I show him the 4 because he showed me the queens.
Because he
man.
did that and said that.
If he didn't show me queens, I would just.
Well, if he didn't say you're an idiot, you have to have it.
He didn't. I don't think he said that.
Oh, I thought you said he ridiculed you like you have to have it here and showed him to you.
I think that he said it in his head.
Oh, okay, got it.
But then when I showed it to him, he kind of said it out loud.
Got it. Okay, it was the reverse way. Got it.
He's fun. I like him.
Yeah,
I like
for
him
sure.
a lot. You know what's crazy? Back when I was playing on the Xbox,
Yeah.
I used to always think in my head, like, what would Phil do in this spot? Because I thought he was like the GOAT. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
remember you told me that. Like you were so excited that you beat him.
Yeah, because he was like
the
one of my
final.
idols. I'm like,
Yeah.
this guy was the GOAT. You know what I mean?
That's kind of a cool memory. Really cool, man.
That was fun.
So when you went to Maryland, what was the buy-in? How many players would you win?
Mine was 3,500.
That's it?
And I was on my second bullet, so I busted my first bullet. I was like, I'm here. I might as well play another
right.
bullet. And the second bullet, I just
Just ran the whole way.
rode it till the
What'd
end.
you win that one?
389.
Wow.
389. Yeah.
That's it. Crazy. And then that made you WPT Player of the Year?
I accumulated enough points where I won Player of the Year.
And then you also, what's the CPI Breakout Player of the Year?
GPI.
GPI,
I won this award.
What is that?
It was it's the Global Poker Index. They give out like awards, like who was the best streamer or some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Or who's the best?
Oh, this must have been one that, like, I think Veronica's talking about. There's like the award ceremony. They
Yeah,
do it
it was like an
for
award
charity, or there's one for this, there's one for that.
Who's
They
the
just
best
pick shit.
tournament player? Blah,
I don't know
blah.
anything about it. I still don't. Okay, well that's cool though. It's still an award.
I beat out Alex Foxit for Breakout Player of the Year.
That's a pretty big beat out. He's a beast.
He plays a lot of tournaments.
He does. He would be a tournament player.
I think
You could call him
classify
that. You
as
could call
a
him
tournament player.
So online grinding during the pandemic.
Dude, I play a lot online during the pandemic.
Do you play how many tables at a time?
As many as I can.
You serious?
Well,
Like,
but the
but
thing
you
is-
can't find them, yeah.
You can't find them.
But you could play 4 tables at a time, no
4
problem?
I can, yeah.
Wow, I don't know how anyone could think that
4
fast.
I can.
I couldn't.
A lot of the spots are kind of memorized spots, right? And
No, I get it. Yeah, you just clicking buttons because it's
It's like I know my
You
range
know.
and a cutoff to open. You know what I mean? But it depends a little bit. If the big blind folds too much, I might like throwing some queen 5 suited and like stuff like that.
Yeah, because
disrespectful opens. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you're gonna disrespect
Like
the blinds.
like the 10-9 off from the cutoff. Like
Is
stuff
it a
like
good
that.
feeling when you disrespect someone and you win the pot?
It is when you're playing like 50-100 and you're playing against the best players in the world, and you've kind of realized that this guy folds too much in the big blind. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Who do you think? This is a dumb question. I ask everyone this, but I like to, right? It's not.
And I feel like a lot of people lie about this question, right? Or
What's
they don't want to answer
the question you think it is?
Who do I feel is like really good or something?
Yeah. So like, if you had to say who's the GOAT in tournaments and who's the GOAT in cash, if you just had to say it, like, give me whatever answer you want. I always just ask people because I like how they go through the process and fuck it all up.
Right. So like, I feel like in tournaments, I don't really know because I don't play tournaments that much.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Cash games, I'll just say who I think is the best because they give me the most trouble, and it would have to be people like I play with online.
Could be whatever you want.
So like, if I'll start naming screen names and like you'll probably have no idea. Like this guy, Davy Jones, Stefan, like.
I think BK would know who they are because he plays online too with you, right?
Brian would definitely know. Yeah. Those guys probably fuck him up too.
Do they? Are they that good?
Yeah. I haven't played with Brian a while online. I think he quit, but
yeah. Well, he's I think he's back playing live again from Vegas and here.
Is he
yeah, he was playing. He was in Australia, just hunkered.
I don't blame him. The online is really tough.
Yeah,
so.
He was just hunkered there because of his girl.
Yeah.
And so he's online. There's no poker. And now I think he's transitioning. I don't know what's happening.
Is he doing that?
Yeah, he's around playing live and winning tournaments. And he went deep. He went deep in the main.
The Vegas one?
The main, the main event.
Main event?
Yeah, it's called a tournament. It's called the main event in WSOP.
Yeah,
you familiar?
Yeah.
You're familiar with that?
I remember I saw a hand where he played really poorly with like pocket.
The queens?
The queens, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But he went deep. He was like 20-something.
Yeah. That's unfortunate that he could have probably won.
He regrets that hand a lot, yeah. But it happens. Sometimes you see shit in the closet that's not there. I know. Oh, go ahead. Talk.
He's always been a really good exploitative player. Mm-hmm. Maybe theoretically he hasn't been like the sharpest compared to other people, but like exploitatively he's always made like really, really like sound decisions. But sometimes when you play exploitatively, you kind of get owned like in that queen's hand, right? Like he's never supposed to fold there, probably.
He knows that. Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I know.
So you kind of look like an idiot sometimes, but sometimes you look like a genius.
But I mean, in poker, don't you always run the risk of either looking like an idiot or genius? It's like a game of inches, right?
Of course, yeah.
You make a call that like people are like, oh my God, he's a genius. How'd you know?
Yeah.
But then you fold a hand, they're like, you're the stupidest guy.
I don't know. Sometimes I've seen someone make a call and I'm like, even though he was right, that was a
horrible call.
Horrendous call.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I think there's like a lot of highlights in poker where like, oh, this guy makes the sickest call ever, but then this guy's made like 45 horrible calls leading up to this.
I just happened to make a good one and it worked out.
Yeah.
What you know what I love about you is you've always been really honest, about not hurting anyone's feelings. That's why I just proactively told you to destroy me, because in case it came up organically, I wanted to like ask for it.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I like it. What's your biggest strength and your biggest weakness in your poker game?
Weakness would have to be probably like networking. That's like, because that's a poker skill.
You know who's very good at that?
You.
What, networking to get in games?
That's the one. That's the one I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your biggest weakness.
Because I don't care to do that. Yeah, and I mean, like,
you don't want to kiss anyone's ass.
When I first started playing poker, to me it was like, be as good as you can at poker, right? Because if you're good at poker, you're gonna win a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because all the best players that I saw at the time were the ones that were good at poker.
Yeah.
Right. There was no like private games or stuff like that.
Right.
So it was like, if I get good at poker, I can win a lot of money.
Right.
Nowadays, if someone asked me like, what's the best skill to have if you want to make a lot of money in poker, I would probably say network. Like screw studying. That's all kind of pointless to me nowadays, right? Because what's you're capped at 5'10" live?
No, I get it. Isn't it frustrating?
Probably it is for people that are trying to like.
Aren't you frustrated?
No, I'm already kind of.
You've come to terms with it.
I've
you used to be frustrated. You used to call me frustrated all the time.
Do
Do you remember those calls
What?
when you used to call me frustrated?
Yeah.
Well, so you had times were frustrated about
Of course.
the
But
politics.
who wouldn't be?
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. You've come to terms with it.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. You've come to terms with it.
I've come to terms with it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I also realized I can also make money playing online poker as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you did, though, had to play the same game online or in person, do you have more fun live? Or not really?
I really enjoy playing online
Oh, good.
because it feels like it's super competitive. Everyone's trying their best to just kill each other.
You like that?
I love that. That's what poker should be. It should be competitive, you know? It shouldn't be
Right.
like this, let's all be friends and, this and that.
Right. It's
Fake
competitive.
friends.
But
Yeah.
and so you don't like someone putting together a big smorgasbord for you to play in a soft game. You'd rather play in a competitive game?
Sometimes
Both?
Both, yeah. I like the competition, but I also want to obviously make money. Like, let's not lie. Like,
Yeah, of course. That's you do.
We
You
all
do
wanna
this for
make money playing
you do
poker.
this for a living. There's nothing shameful
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, but I also I do like the competition of, especially live. Live is more fun because you get to actually see the person.
That's what I'm saying. It's more fun just because it feels better.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't like. Well, I'm not good, but like I just like being at a table talking.
That's
And,
fun.
yeah,
I love talking.
I like to just interact.
People think I don't like talking. I love to talk when I'm playing poker.
Yeah,
But back in the day, the live at the bike games,
you didn't. Much.
I didn't. But you know why?
No.
Because there was a lot of money on the line, man. Like,
So it was big for you, and you didn't want to fuck it up. And You
Yeah.
wanted to concentrate.
yeah, like I wanted to
Yeah,
focus.
because you've evolved. I've seen from back then till now. Like when you're in a game, like you are more personable than you used to be.
I just kind of just
And
enjoyed it.
back to the politics stuff, you kind of have to have that to play in a stream. Like it helps, unless you're really bad.
But I would never do it just because I would
No,
want to.
you want it to be real.
Yeah, I enjoy talking. Like I enjoy talking to you. Whenever I feel like we play,
It's fun.
I enjoy talking to you.
Yeah, we have a good time. We always laugh. We should do that more.
It's fun to play poker
Yeah.
with people that you
That
enjoy
you like.
playing with.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I am adamant about the fact that I don't care what the skill is. I like playing with people I like. If I'm at a table with people that I legitimately don't like if I really don't like you, I don't want to be at the table with you because I don't like the energy and I'm not having fun because you're near me.
Yeah.
I'm like that. And I don't care if that meant that I would win this much more but to have to deal, I would rather win less and play with people that I could laugh with and like.
I'm the same way, I would say.
Yeah, just the way it is, I have enough money. I don't need to, whatever you call that. It's just, I don't like spending my time around people I don't like. Is there anything you want to ask me, talk about? Are there any subjects that are burning in your loins? Do you want to talk about anything other than poker?
I thought about, for a while, I thought about starting like a poker training course or something like that.
Oh.
But then I realized I probably would just fuck it up because I'm
Just the business aspect of
Yeah,
it?
yeah, because I feel like you need to know a lot about business to excel in that kind of field. And you're one person that I would one day maybe go for advice and like, hey, Nick, like, how would you do this? Because
Sure.
you're a great businessman.
It is one of my strengths. I've made a lot of mistakes too, but when you keep trying, you can resurrect your mistakes. Now there are a lot of pros out there that would be mad at you when you do that. You know that people take a lot of heat when they train other people.
Yeah, the thing is, I think a lot of
Don't you think that's stupid?
a lot of people that train them, I feel like, to be honest, are people that probably can't win at poker anymore. So they
The person who trains me is a crusher.
I think I know who trains you.
Yeah, don't say.
But I don't know who. I don't know who I
Don't
think
say.
it is.
But no, I would. The person that trains me is a crusher.
Yeah.
That one of the best cash players I think out there. But to your point, maybe that is true. There are a lot of people that are. Well, there are a lot of people that have like.
But
training.
he's training you like he's not. That's not his job to train you, right?
No.
Yeah, but he's kind of doing it kind of an hour here, an hour there.
We're friends.
Yeah.
Like really legitimately friends.
Yeah.
And then of course, yes, before the September 29th incident, we probably worked every day to every other day for anywhere from a half an hour to a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, just reviewing either all the hands I've played, going over all. I mean, back in the first day, it was just the basics. It was like stuff you're like, oh my god, you didn't know that.
Just
like
the fundamentals.
the total fundamentals.
Yeah.
And then I've had to work hard at my mental game. I've had to really figure out how to be understanding variance and accepting it and knowing these things are going to happen no matter what. Which I didn't. I just was so tilted. Yeah. And I've told people this before. I pay a pretty penny for it. I give a percentage of what I win. And
oh shit, you do
12%
to that person?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but it's been worth it. Like, I've transformed how I play. I'm still suck. I know that. Like, I'm not even saying that like to self-deprecate because I want people to say I'm good. Like, I know I'm not a great poker player, but I can survive really well in the games I'm in.
But you play in good poker games.
I play in good poker games, and I could totally go back to the games with you guys and hold my own. I'm not saying I'd be a crusher.
I don't think you can, but okay, but we'll leave it.
I know, and I know you don't. That's why it was a good setup for you.
Yeah.
When I say hold my own, I don't mean crush.
Yeah.
I mean not be the player I was.
You will still lose, but probably not to.
I agree.
Not to.
Yeah, I agree. I love your honesty. That's the thing. That stuff doesn't even bug me. I've always loved it about you because you've always told me that to my face, and I'm like, wow, he's so honest. Honesty, but yeah. That's true. So, whatever. I almost would wish we could put that lineup back together to fucking show you that
We
may
should.
not be
I'm down
true.
to play.
Yeah, we should. Let's get Dan Zach out here. Let's get all you guys. Andy Garrett. We'll pull him out of retirement.
Gary Reyna.
Gary the Hare.
He was cool, man.
I love Gary the Hare with
Dude,
the
that
dog.
guy-
Remember the dog?
Yeah, I do
You
remember.
bring that fucking dog every time?
Dude, that guy was the only player I would say that I legitimately feel bad for.
Because he ran so bad.
That guy ran so bad.
Dude, I made a hat. Do you remember? You don't remember. I made a hat and I would wear it when we played against him, and it would said, Gary never has it.
But that guy played well. Yeah, he wasn't amazing, but he was a good player.
He was fundamentally a good player,
He was fundamentally a solid player.
Yeah.
But he just got destroyed every time he played on the show.
Yeah.
The variance is insane in poker.
Yeah, but he was different. His variance was just all the other way.
What do
He
you
never
mean?
could win.
Exactly.
Because he always either got caught bluffing or it got crushed.
He
or
never
banked.
he never had a good hand.
He never had a good hand. Yeah, we used to joke about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even know what I was
He was
joking
the opposite
about.
of Garrett.
He was the polar opposite of Garrett.
Yeah.
This was horseshoe up ass, fucking schleprock. It was just like
Schleprock.
Schleprock is. Do you know who that is?
No.
Google it. You're not. You're too young. You don't know
Yeah.
schleprock. Yeah, you figure it out. What else do you want to say? Talk about? Think about? Discuss? Give me anything. I mean, I've covered everything that I personally know about you. I've tried to come up with as many topics and interesting things. I asked you about your virginity. I've asked you about your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean,
16,
I'm all out of bullets. What do you think? What's something that's burns in your loins that you want to get out? Anything?
Let's see.
You don't have to have anything.
Sure. I don't know why I want to talk about this. I don't know why this came up to my mind, but
Do it.
poker to me is like boxing.
Okay.
I don't know if you see any like similarities, but I was just thinking about this a few days ago, and it's due to the Jake Paul guy. You know this Jake Paul guy?
Of course.
This guy is like not a real boxer, right? He's like he's good. He's an okay boxer.
He's
right?
an okay boxer,
Yeah, but he keeps fighting.
but he's more of a promoter.
He keeps fighting these people who aren't actual professional boxers, right? Like
Yes.
Anderson Silva, who was a great MMA fighter back
Of course.
in the day.
Yes.
But this guy is making so much freaking money.
Yeah. He's
from-
smart.
He's smart. Yeah, but like this wouldn't exist. I feel like 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
What wouldn't?
This guy trying to like promote all these big fights.
Oh, for sure.
They apply these promoters would be like,
All
hey,
the purists and the promoters will be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But we're in a day and age of nonsense now.
yeah, everything.
Everything's just
And
blown up to nonsense.
I draw the parallels to poker in the sense that you don't need to be a great poker player to win a lot of money, just as you don't need to be a great boxer to win a lot of money. Back in the day, you did. See, like, who are all our idols in poker? Ivy, Negreanu.
Sure.
These guys that
The legends.
These guys that were really good at
The
poker.
OGs.
Yeah. So where's poker going to be in 10 years when we don't even have any...
Well, it's so different now than it was 10 years ago. It's evolving. It's so different than it was.
Who are our idols going to be in 10 years in poker?
I don't know.
Who are we going to look at and say, this guy was amazing at poker. Like, we should,
I don't know.
promote this guy.
Yeah, because it's different now too, because all the games are different. The streaming, like the most popular streaming stuff is when you put, 6 or 9 maniacs at a table
True.
that
And
really
everyone
aren't
loves to
aren't
watch that.
playing poker.
Everyone loves to watch
All
that.
they want to do is see $1 million pots, and so
Yeah.
that's what we bring. But on that subject, what do you? Unless you have more on that?
I don't know if I have more on that.
Okay. Well, yeah. With that subject, why do you think that there's success at Hustler Casino Live? Like, why do you think we've catapulted so much?
You
What do
guys are
think-
great.
I appreciate that,
You guys
but
are
and
great.
I am looking for compliments. But
seriously, you
no,
guys are
thank you.
awesome.
But what?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's working like it is? And it's the trajectory is so straight up. What do you think it is about our shows that are different? What
I mean, needless to mention...
we keep asking you to play, and you keep saying no.
Is that true?
No. Go on. Yo, is that true? But you don't remember your own phone calls? Fucking dumb shit. Is that true? God, you're so easy to fucking... but go ahead, answer the question.
Needless to mention, you guys have great production.
Yeah.
You guys have great lineups.
Yep.
Smart lineups. I wouldn't say great lineups.
They're smart.
They're smart. They're
entertaining.
The players all mesh together.
Yeah.
In a way. Geez, that thing that happened with Garrett and Robbie was pretty insane, right?
What do you think about that? What's your true thoughts on that?
Fuck.
I don't even have that down as a question, but you brought it up.
I did bring it up.
Let's talk about it.
Man, that was insane. I remember watching it a lot.
Has your thought process evolved on it since the beginning till now? Have you changed your mind? Go on. You just take that wherever you want to go.
There was a lot of information that would come out daily where that would kind of sway my my thoughts on it.
Back and forth.
Yeah. There was there was like weird. I didn't know the relationship between Robbie and Jake. Was it Jake or her?
Jacob.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then we found out they're like business partners and stuff like that. Honestly, it's really hard to say.
It is.
It's really hard to say what happened, and I don't want to say definitively this is what happened, that's what happened.
I think you're smart. I really respect you for that.
And
because you don't know.
You don't know. You can't really know.
I really respect you for that because there are some people that are digging in both sides, both ways, and to just adamantly say nothing happened is fine, and then to say adamantly for sure something, I think it's like, how do you know that? And it's just like you just can't. I just don't know how you
what I can adamantly say is that I'm confident that Hustler had nothing to do with anything that happened.
We didn't talk about this before for me to tell you to say that.
We never talked about
I
this.
just want you to say that.
100%. We never discussed any
that
of this.
Never happened. Now, when I say never happened, I could just say this. Myself, Ryan, never.
Right.
I can't even 100% say I know for sure something didn't happen with someone else because I'm not that person.
Exactly.
So I think it would be as reckless for me to say 100% nothing happened with us, but I know 100% nothing happened with myself and Ryan. That I know.
Yeah.
If I had to bet strongly on other things, I might give my opinion, but I don't think it's my place to do that. So please go on with what you're thinking.
I think that Ryan is a very trustworthy person.
Yeah.
I think that you're a trustworthy person. And there's no incentive for you guys to do anything like that. That's just
it's so dumb.
Crazy.
It's so dumb. I mean, in our first year in a business that's brand new, we're killing it. We're killing it monetarily too. We're not just killing it because we're.
Are you guys really?
Yeah, we're killing it because of sponsorship, YouTube, so many things. Like we're doing very well for a first year poker stream, and it's getting better and better. And we're going into China, a licensing agreement deal that I just made that I believe is going to just crush both the poker world and monetarily. And I don't want to talk too much because then it sounds defensive, but it's just like it's so dumb. It's just so dumb. And how much dumber would it be to do it with no disrespect, but to do it with Robbie?
I don't know who that person is.
That's the person, the girl.
Yeah, I know, but where'd she come from?
How stupid would it be for anyone to do something? Because I don't know where she came from. Was Beans? Beans, Darren Atterbury, this guy that plays on the show. You go, somehow, some guy that plays on her show a handful of times knows her from somewhere. Okay. Don't know where. I don't want to project what I know and don't know. I just know they know each other from poker. He referred her to Billy DeGaff, who runs our Monday game and commentates.
That guy's cool.
He's the best. He's one of my favorite people on the planet.
Before you continue,
go ahead.
My first memory of this guy, he has no idea, but
tell us.
My first year playing poker,
he was a crusher, right?
I don't know who he was.
Okay, go. You tell your fucking
2015, 2016,
doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm at the Venetian playing my entire bankroll, like you know what I mean.
Right.
It's like 20K or something, right?
Yeah.
And there was like this 5, 10, 20 or something, or 10, 20, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was him, some Euro pro, and me, three-handed, right? And this guy Billy's like drinking beer, and he has his wife to the side, and I'm like, this guy's a fucking fish, man. I mean, like, what is this guy doing?
What's this guy doing?
And then he felted me one hand, and I remember he 3-bet me with King 9 offsuit, and he hit a king, and he just went fucking value ton on me, and I was the fish. I just called him down.
Right.
and that was it. That was it. And then I see this guy like 5 years later. I'm like, it's that motherfucker that fucking felted me at Venetian one time.
Billy is legitimately, like, as I got to know him over the past year, is one of the funniest, coolest, most sincere, loyal person I've ever met. And I really like him. I go to him a lot for like poker talk, meaning if I'm like, dude, what the fuck did I do? You know, whatever, or any other subject. He's a cool dude, and anyway, he took a lot of he took a lot of heat too. Through
People
this.
thought he was cheating. Or something.
Yeah, he took a lot of heat too. It's just
I didn't even know. I'm like,
it's ridiculous. Something about seat 2 and shit. It's all shit.
He thought he was cheating in seat 2.
Yeah, because seat 2 he would wear whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't even want to give it air. Fucking. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what I was saying about that other thing. All I know is we're here now. It is what it is, and it was it's been a very interesting couple of months. It's still interesting, but everything happens for a reason. We are definitely we're up in viewership because of it, which I think is just weird because people just love drama, but it is how it is, and we got a lot of good poker coming and a lot of great lineups, and we're really bullish on next year with a lot of things we have working and things. So it's going to be fun.
You guys are killing it.
We're killing it. It's going to be fun.
What's up with that 870K pot today?
So, well,
that was a crazy.
We have Nick Arcott. I just interviewed him yesterday. His pod will be out before yours, so they have already.
You interviewed that guy
yesterday.
Yeah,
I did Mike Matisow, Nick Arcott yesterday, and then today Josh Macchiello and you. So they're going to go out in that order: Mike, Nick, Josh, you, because that's how I did them. And whatever. But anyways, that pot is just, Nick has evolved. We talked about it yesterday. Nick has evolved from, playing middle low stakes and being like having 30K on the table and that being really deep for him. And he's just evolved to be comfortable with his game. He's a very, very good player. Very thinking player, and now he's playing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700,000 deep whenever he feels like it, and he's in these big games, and he's doing well. And he just got in a spot where he flopped the Nutter Butters.
The guy he was playing against is a very good player.
That's what we were talking about. Button clicker.
Henry,
yeah, and apparently he's just a beast.
Yeah, he's a really good heads-up player.
He unfortunately had the unfortunate
poor guy
playing a flopping top set.
Imagine somehow getting to this freaking game, right?
Yeah, finally getting there.
Finally, he's like, I'm gonna do it.
He's got his what's that called? That apron on, or no, whatever that is to doesn't spill. Bib. He's got his bib on. He's at the smorgasbord. He's feeling. He's got this. Oh my God! He's got all these choices of foods, and then he just binks top set to the Nutter Butters and can't fill up.
Fish to the left, fish
and
to the right,
and they were so deep that it was an $860,000 pot, a record.
And then he has to go home after that.
And he went home.
That's so sad.
That's it. He just went home. Took the walk of shame.
That's embarrassing.
It's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
No disrespect to him, but
no, good guy. Good guy, good player.
What do you think about the other characters? Did you see the Mr. Superman and Pearson incident?
I did.
What do you think about that? What's your honest opinion of a rec player handing out Post-it notes, trolling you, and then getting destroyed by Eric Pearson verbally? What is your honest opinion of that situation?
Before I comment on that, I want to say that I watch a lot of the Hustler highlights.
Yeah,
because I'll be at home, playing online, and then I have my TV next to me. I'm like, oh, let's see what's going on. There's no games. I'll watch some poker highlights, whatever. Yeah. So I watch all of the highlights. So whatever hand you ask me about, I'm probably gonna know.
Oh, good.
What you're talking
Okay,
about.
cool. It's fun.
And so that was a freaking crazy hand. Like I watched that hand like maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
And not to talk about the play itself. The play itself was, come on.
It was the worst play ever.
It might have been the worst play I've ever seen.
It made no sense. That's okay to say. You just called me one of the worst players in the world. Why can't you tell this guy?
I never called you one of the worst players in the world.
But I'm over exaggerating.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is you should be able to be honest. That was what he did
and I
there.
feel like people aren't honest enough.
Yeah, what he did there was ridiculous.
Yeah.
In poker.
I didn't see any.
It didn't make any sense.
I think what happened was Eric got in his head.
Yes.
And I think this Eric guy is really good at that, getting into people's heads. Yes. He gets into the heads of people that I feel like don't have a solid strategy. Mm-hmm. And we don't have a solid strategy, your game is swayed.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's what happened.
He can move the dial on people. So tell me what you thought about. What did you think about do you think there's any bad form to him passing out Post-it notes? And what do you think about him getting like filleted and undressed after? Just what do you think about it? Like, is it funny to you? Do you think he's
really
right?
Funny
do you
to
think
me.
that guy's right? Like, just be honest, like you've been.
Super funny to me.
It's hysterical.
It's hysterical. Like, you take a bad beat and the guy gives you a Post-it note. I'll be cracking up. Like, I would thoroughly enjoy someone doing that to me. Like,
you wouldn't care,
I would laugh my ass off.
even if you got really cooler, like for a big pot.
I would still laugh my ass off.
Okay,
because it's super funny.
Okay, so do you think? Why do you think Eric was so upset about it?
Was he actually upset? Was he just trying? He was making a.
He was making a point.
He was kind of, but was he? I don't think he was actually upset about it. I think he was kind of trying to.
No, he wasn't trying to create good TV.
Was he trying to create good TV?
I mean, if he was, then he's got me fooled.
I think that's the kind of impression.
You don't think he was? So you don't think he even cared? You thought he was just trying to make a good clip?
I think he was trying. I think he was trying to promote himself as like this crazy.
Do you think that was the right thing to do? Or do you think, whatever, it doesn't matter. Guy's passing out notes. He felt like doing what he did. It's fair game.
I think it was the right thing to do.
Okay.
I think it was funny.
Okay.
I think it was great TV.
Okay, it was.
And I probably would want to do the same thing. I'm not saying I could have done it.
You couldn't have done it like him.
But I would want to do the same thing.
You would want to do, but he's special when it comes to being able to do that.
He's very good at like
doing that
kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Now, I'm bringing this hand up because it's one of the funniest. Because when we said it's funny, this is one of the funniest things I saw on our stream. And when I say your name, just know that I love you. But Ron, Israeli Ron, did you see when Ben got mad at him? And Ron, I love you. I promise I'm not trying to troll you. I am, but in a fun, loving way. But the reason it's funny to me is because Ron knows this too. Ron is notorious for sitting next to you and showing you his hand, talking about his hand, talking about your hand, talking about in the middle of a hand, like if you're trying to run it once or twice, that he folded a jack to tilt you if you need a jack, stuff like that. So he says it in his mumbly voice, like whatever, and you're like sometimes you don't even know what he's saying, but it's constant, and he'll constant. So, and if you're not running good, it could wear on you because you don't want to hear that or care. And so I was commentating when this happened. I fucking fell off my chair upstairs because I understood Ben's frustration, but because Ben is so emotional and he freaked out so publicly like that, that was one of the funniest moments. Now, I will tell you this, I actually felt bad for Ron because I'm like that. I feel bad for people. Like I'm like, oh my God, poor Ron. Like he's my friend. Like I don't want him to be embarrassed or feel bad, but I couldn't stop the laughter. I don't know. So you saw that?
I saw it, and I had the same reaction you did, but in my house. I almost fell off my chair.
So entertaining.
And I think it's funny because that guy Ben, him getting angry was so funny to me.
That's what I'm saying.
His face was so funny.
It was red like a tomato, and he like a diva. He was like, I don't care.
Yeah, like
shut up.
A crazy Asian man. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Crazy guy.
All right, I'm gonna go. I wasn't planning on doing this, but let's go through it. What do you think of Alan Keating? What do you think's going on there? Like,
I know what's going on there.
If it's bad, I don't want you to say it.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to say it because the guy.
It's a business.
It's a business thing.
Okay,
I don't want to knock his business, but
let's drop it. I don't know what you thought. I just meant like in generally, like because he's insane. He's a madman. That's all.
I think he's very good at portraying stuff like that.
He's a very smart guy.
He's not.
But it still takes a lot to be able to dust off $1.1 million.
I'll say one thing: like the guy is not losing money in poker.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a very smart individual. But to dust off $1.1 million, you must have a really deep plan.
Yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure he has plan. Maybe the plan didn't work out the way he wanted it to.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. I know. We love him. I love him. I think he's great for the show, and we want him on as much as possible.
I would love to
People
play with that
love
guy.
watching him play. It's really entertaining.
Who wouldn't? The guy plays 95% VPIP.
I know.
He literally plays every hand.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of attention in a game. Anyone else? Anything else? We want to wrap it up. You want to give any final thoughts? Anything people don't know about you that you want them to know? Leave us with a thought. Anything, or you just want to know? Just want me to bring you out.
I would say that. I'll say one thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll say nothing. I don't know if it's related to anything or
Bro,
at all. But
just literally take this platform to say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, I'll say I think the poker dream is still alive for people who are considering playing poker.
Yeah.
Young people that are considering
Sure.
playing poker. I think it's doable. I would say it's not as easy as it was before.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I think my generation was probably the last generation where it was kind of easier to do it. I think nowadays it's much more difficult.
Yeah.
Because people play better. There's less opportunity in terms of like finding easy games,
Yeah.
like live games or whatever.
Right.
But I think it's doable. I think if you work hard, I think if you dedicate yourself, and online poker is not rigged. For people that say, "Oh, online cash games are rigged. It's all bots, whatever, this and that." Once you get to the higher stakes,
No.
it's clean.
Yeah.
It's
I'd have to take your word for it. I don't
It's
play.
clean.
So.
Like if I can make money doing it, and I was a live player, I guess you can say. If I can start playing live and then go to online and make money playing online, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So I would say if you really want to do it, then go ahead and do it.
Are you making 6 figures plus a year online?
For sure.
I know. I figured so, but I wanted
Six
to start
fig- I
you
mean,
there.
6, that's not-
7?
Probably not. No.
Okay, so we got the neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair. We can
Yeah.
leave it at that.
It's possible, but
Yeah. Are you going to buy more crypto?
dude, that's yes, yes.
Are you?
Yeah. Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. I'll fucking do it. I don't care.
Okay.
There's whatever.
All right.
But
That's cool.
that's kind of it, I guess.
Yeah. That's it.
I guess so.
All right. Well, if you guys didn't already know, this is the Nick Vertucci Show. I am Nick Vertucci.
Legendary.
Legend. And I am here with Art Papazyan. Thank you for your time. It was
awesome.
fun. It was good to see you. It's been a while. And that's all we got. So let's roll it out and envy out.